This is the newsroom for today, Monday, February 16th, 2026. We're broadcasting to you on E1, SKAR TV, NTN, and TARZEE TV in Bartica. In the headlines, court issues warning to Azruddin Mohamed following lateness. 2020 elections trial resumes after 2-month pause. $1.558 trillion national budget passed after 2 weeks of debates and consideration of estimates. And in sport, excitement builds as Barbados prepares to host CPL Finals 2026 and Global Super League confirmed for July 23rd to August 1st. With the news, I am Avinash Ramzan. Thanks for joining us. We start off by telling you that it was a tense morning at the Georgetown Magistrates Court on Monday as Magistrate Judy Latchman issued an arrest warrant, which she later withdrew and left a stern warning for opposition leader and U.S. indicted businessman Azruddin Mohamed, telling him in no uncertain terms that if he is late again for court, his bail will be withdrawn immediately. Mohamed, brought to court in handcuffs, stood before Magistrate Latchman, saying he was sorry. Earlier in the morning, a bail application had been made before Acting Chief Magistrate Faith McGusty. However, the matter was stood down and redirected to Magistrate Latchman, the judicial officer who issued the warrant. When the matter was called again, Mohamed apologized, telling the court he had reasons and could prove them. He explained that his driver, who lives in Providence, woke up to find 2 tires on the vehicle damaged. To make matters worse, Mohamed said his other vehicles were not insured, leaving him without immediate alternative transportation. But the magistrate was not impressed. She reminded Mohamed that this was not the first time he had been late and that he had already been warned about punctuality. At one point, Magistrate Latchman indicated she was prepared to escheat his bail and remand him to prison to ensure he shows up next time. Mohamed's attorney, Sayan Durjan, stepped in, assuring the court that he would personally ensure his client's punctual attendance going forward. Prosecutor Terrence Williams reminded the court that previous explanation for Mohamed's absence had cited illness and questioned why the reason had now shifted to vehicle trouble. He suggested there appeared to be an attempt to delay the proceedings. In the end, while making it clear she was displeased, Magistrate Latchman allowed Mohamed to remain on bail. However, she issued a final warning: if he's late again, bail will be withdrawn. Mohamed's extradition matter is set to continue on Wednesday. Now, more than 2 months after its last hearing, the trial into the fraud allegedly committed during the March 2020 elections continued on Monday, with PVP agent Sesnarayan Singh continuing his testimony. The trial is set to continue throughout this week.
The trial into alleged irregularities during the March 2020 general and regional elections resumed on Monday at the Georgetown Magistrates Court after a break of more than 2 months since the last hearing in December 2025. Acting Chief Magistrate Faith McGusty is presiding over the matter. Monday proceedings continued with testimony from People's Progressive Party civic agent Sesnarayan Singh, who returned to the witness stand after last appearing in November 2025. Singh recalled events inside the Region 4 tabulation room on March 4, 2020, when former Deputy Chief Elections Officer Roxanne Myers entered and informed those present that former returning officer of Region 4 Claremont Mingo had fallen ill. He told the court he observed medical personnel removing Mingo on a stretcher towards an ambulance, but said he did not leave the room and could not confirm whether he was taken inside the vehicle. Singh said international observers, local observers, political party representatives, and Guyana election missions present throughout, describing the situation as a waiting game. Singh also testified that statements of poll provided to him by the PPP remained in his sight at all times and that the room was never empty. According to Singh, around noon, Myers returned and informed those present that Mingo had been hospitalized. He said Mingo returned the following day and announced he wanted to restart the tabulation process in the interest of time by allowing staff to extract data from statements of poll in their possession and present a spreadsheet readout. Singh told the court there were strong objections to the proposal, recalling loud protests from persons inside the room. Singh further testified that GCOM Chair retired Justice Claudette Singh called for a pause to allow overworked staff to get help. The tabulation was temporarily halted with plans for a shift system to handle about 879 remaining statements of poll, and the process resumed the following day. 9 persons are before the court charged with conspiring to manipulate the election results in favor of APNU AFC, including former government minister Valda Lawrence, former chief elections officer Keith Lowingfield, former returning officer of Region 4 Claremont Mingo, and former deputy chief elections officer Roxanne Myers. The controversy surrounding the March 2020 elections delayed the declaration of results for 5 months before Dr. Irfan Ali was sworn in as president on August 2, 2020. The trial is expected to continue throughout this week. For the newsroom, Sharda Bacchus.
Now, the massive $1.558 trillion national budget was passed early on Saturday morning, just weeks after it was first presented by Finance Minister Dr. Ashni Singh. The budget's passage came after a week of policy debates and another week for the consideration of estimates in the Parliamentary Committee of Supply. The appropriation bill, which authorizes the release of the budget sum, was passed in the National Assembly. Fiscal Enactment Amendment Bill of 2026 and the Marriage Amendment Bill of 2026 were also passed, operationalizing key budgetary measures. More specifically, the Fiscal Enactment Amendment Bill allows amendments to the Income Tax Act, the Corporation Tax Act, the Value Added Act, and the Property Tax Act and the Customs Act.
Guyana's 2026 budget is a whopping $1.558 trillion. After a week of policy debates and then another week of line-by-line, sector-by-sector scrutiny, the budget was passed without changes early Saturday morning. As we wrap up our coverage of this year's budget, we recap some of its highlights. First, the $1.558 trillion budget is about 12.7% larger than last year's $1.382 trillion budget. Now that's a lot of money, so let's try to visualize it. The new Barbados Demerara River Bridge costs about $260 million, which is roughly 54.3 billion Ghana dollars. And with the $1.558 trillion budget, about 28 bridges like the Barbados Demerara River Bridge could be built. But that's not what the money is being spent on. Let's go through some of the key allocations. First, the largest allocation is for public works. That's about $227.2 billion, which will be spent on new highways, bridges, and other infrastructure projects. The Ministry of Housing is up next with about $159.4 billion approved. With this, the government hopes to advance a robust housing agenda, building about 8,000 houses this year, while also developing new schemes, regularizing others, and working on critical infrastructure to support happy living. Another $67.6 billion was approved for the Ministry of Agriculture and $140.1 billion for the new Ministry of Public Utilities and Aviation. Large allocations have also gone to key social sectors, like the $100.2 billion for the Ministry of Education, $135 billion for the Ministry of Health, and $78 billion for the Ministry of Human Services and Social Security. It should be noted that additional funds for 5 key areas, regional administration, healthcare, education, agriculture, and public works, are included in the regional budgets for each of Ghana's 10 administrative regions. There are new budgetary measures that the government is pursuing. These measures include the $100,000 cash grant for each Guyanese adult, which should be distributed soon, and increased transfers for children and the elderly. The increased transfer for school children and the elderly come with a new transportation grant, which, like these grants, should continue to increase annually. The Fiscal Enactments Amendment Bill 2026 was also successfully piloted by the Finance Minister early Saturday morning, paving the way for an amendment to the Income Tax Act, the Corporation Tax Act, the Value Added Tax Act, the Property Tax Act, and the Customs Act. With this, various tax cuts and incentives detailed in Budget 2026 will come into effect. In the weeks and months ahead, these measures will roll out, and the whopping $1.558 trillion budget should be spent on advancing the government's work. For the newsroom, Vashani Raghavir. Hey!
Now, children from across the country brought color, vibrancy, and movement to the streets on Saturday for the Children's Mashramani Road Parade 2026. The parade showcased performances by schools and youth groups celebrating creativity and culture, while the Minister of Education, Sonia Parag, highlighted the importance of ensuring young people have space to develop their talent beyond the classroom.
Guyana is we own.
I don't know what I would do without ya. Carnival, it has nothing else can replace ya. You're my benefit. It seems life lasts without ya. You and I had just the lovers when we jamming together. Carnival is here, so let we jump up. We don't see all over here, we jump up.
Happy to be out here. You know, there's nothing better than seeing our children with smiling faces, beautiful colors, vibrancy, and that's what we want, and they look forward to this every year. But under this government, we want to make sure that we create that opportunity in that space for them to know that they have a place for creativity and talent in this country.
This is a breakaway. Jump up with all the way. Show me your energy. We marching up every day. Got ten of our behind the truck. Jump up with all the way. Show me your energy. We marching up every day.
President Irfan Ali urges spiritual reflection and compassion at Mahashivratri, and Ramadan Village 2026 opens. More news when we return. Welcome back. This is the newsroom. Under a canopy of glowing lanterns on the grounds of the Muslim youth organization, the MYO, a spirit of reverence and joy filled the air on Sunday evening as President Irfan Ali officially opened Ramadan Village 2026. The president opened the village with a strong message reflecting on Islamic theology. The launch, held just days before the start of the holy month of fasting, unfolded in a setting alive with devotion, from the melodic recitation of the Quranic verses and traditional Islamic songs to stirring words of reflection and gratitude.
If you look at what Islam says, it actually prohibits others. It prohibits others. Prohibits you and I from passing on our wrongdoings or blaming others for our wrongdoing. Islamic theology, blaming others is considered a trait of the devil, an injustice that compounds a minor sin into a major sin. That is Islamic theology. Brothers and sisters, we are taught the right and wrong. If we adopt the wrong approach in life or pursue the wrong things, we must be willing to accept the consequences of that wrongdoing.
Meanwhile, President Irfan Ali has called on Guyanese to use the observance of Mahashivratri as a time of reflection, self-examination, and renewed commitment to humanity, stressing that spirituality must be accompanied by compassion, responsibility, and social justice. The head of state delivered the featured address on Sunday at the Festival of Mahashivratri 2026, where devotees gathered to pray and observe one of Hinduism's most sacred occasions, symbolizing spiritual transformation and connecting with Lord Shiva.
According to all spiritual texts, we cannot develop or inculcate spirituality if we do not have consciousness. We cannot be good citizens if we don't have consciousness. We cannot be good children or parents if we don't have consciousness, because consciousness comes from the conscience. And we live in a world and a society where sometimes we question, have we lost our conscience? Have we lost our consciousness? And today is about rekindling with our conscience. Understanding what is consciousness. Consciousness is not spirituality alone. Spirituality cannot exist if there is hunger, if there is anger, if there is societal decay, if there is war, if there is all of these negative forces around us affect spirituality.
We tell you now that the Guyana Technical Training College Inc., that's the GTTCI campus in Port Morant Region 6, officially opened on Saturday by President Irfan Ali. Declared as a signal of the transformation on the way in the backlands of Port Morant, the president noted that the college is one of the most strategic investments made in the oil and gas sector to date.
Built with world-class, state-of-the-art facilities, the Guyana Technical Training College, Inc. will help mold a highly skilled Guyanese workforce who will secure high-income careers in the oil and gas and other advanced industries. Delivering remarks at the opening ceremony, President Dr. Irfan Ali said the campus is a signal of the transformation underway in the backlands of Port Morant.
We decided we wanted to invest more than $120 million in the future of this country for today, tomorrow, and 100 years in the future. So unlike countries that are 100 years into oil and gas, without any training facility, when we are 100 years into oil and gas, we will be the #1 training facility in the world.
Courses offered range from production, technician training, to instrumentation, electrical and mechanical programs, with each discipline further branching into its respective specialized fields.
Region 6 begins delivering skilled workers directly into Guyana's oil economy. In budget 2026, campus completed and training expanded. That is the strategic outcome. that we are going to pursue.
Director of the college, Professor Clement Sankat, noted that even before its formal opening, the school had already commenced training. 2 cohorts of students have already completed the program and have successfully secured employment.
This will be back down, and this is the transformation that is occurring here.
The project was constructed through a partnership between the Government of Guyana, ExxonMobil Guyana Limited, EMGL, HES, and CNOOC. For the newsroom, Lizzie Yearwood.
The Minister of Housing, Colin Crowell, has assured residents of Region 6 that all pending applicants in the region will be cleared, with work ongoing to address the existing backlog. More than 2,500 house lots were allocated in the community of Providence, Glasgow, and Overwinning in Region 6 over the past 2 years, and works are ongoing in several other areas to ensure increased home ownership.
Through Gaitsuko, well, this one is through NISIL, GLSC, we were able to get additional lands at Glasgow, at Overwinning, and at an area called Providence. So we have ongoing allocations there, and in fact, to date, within the last, I would say 2 years, not even 2 years, a year and a half, we have ongoing allocations in those 3 areas, but they're together side by side. We are talking about allocations of over 2,500 to date, and we still have more to go. Then when you come further down the coast, you have the Hampshire area, for which we built another 100 houses, as well as you had allocations. And midway, person said, but they're trying to seek additional lands. And that is why we were able to get Hochstyle. And at Hochstyle, we have started the allocations last year. The infrastructure work is ongoing. And I am pleased to announce that those persons who were allocated at Hochstyle last year, and for your listeners here in Berbice, the infrastructure work is about 98% complete. By the first week of March, all persons who have been allocated at Hochstyle will be able to see their land. We are committed as a government to ensure that as quickly as possible you have home ownership. So home ownership doesn't stop at you getting your land. Home ownership ends when you have ownership as well as your community is developed. What is our commitment to the people of Region 6? All pending applicants will be cleared here in Region 6. I repeat that. All pending applicants will be cleared in Region 6.
When the news returns, the financial, weather, and bridge report, along with sport. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Newsroom. Now for a look at what's happening in sport. We're starting off with some cricket news. The opening day of the first ever Guyana Cricket Board on the 16 Inter-County Tournament produced two games that panned out completely different. While the clash between Barbados and its Select 11 at the Rose Hall Community Centre ground was a woefully one-sided affair, the game between Demerara and Essequibo at LBI was much more competitive. Akim Green reports.
It is the start of the Guyana Cricket Board on the 16th and 5th over tournament, and Demerara along with Barbados would have started with some victories here on Monday. Demerara, who have been playing at the Labone Intention Community Centre ground, would have won by 29 runs against Essequibo, which means the top scorer for Demerara, who would have put on 167 all out in their overs, is Nathan Bishop. He would have made an attractive 41 coming into this tournament with some big scores in the association level as well. And Nathan, how do you reflect on your 4-1 today?
I think today was a good game, and I think everybody worked quite well and everybody executed the plan. Bowlers come at the back end and bowl excellent.
Nathan, how much, I know you want to play for Guyana, but I guess the process is there. And tell me about the work that you've been doing, because I noticed your scoring has improved a lot.
Yeah, I've been working very hard before this tournament and before the inter-association. And I've been training every day, waking up and running every day, and just working on my fitness.
Yeah. To you, what is critical to be a good batsman, wicket keeper as well? Or what are some things, some pointers your coaches have been telling you about the keys to success?
The keys is discipline. You must be disciplined to play cricket, and you have to work on your fitness mostly, and so.
Yeah. How much are you looking forward to, more productivity? I know you want to play for Guyana in the upcoming regional competition, but how are you looking forward to getting more runs and probably, doing well behind the stumps as well?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to play for Guyana this year and moving on, play more cricket for Guyana in the future.
All right, all the best going forward, Nathan.
Thanks.
Yeah, you would have heard it there from Nathan Bishop. But given a roundup of what happened today, Demerara obviously would have pulled off certainly a commendable win over Essequibo. A bit nervy, one would say, coming down to the end. And upper in Barbados at Rose Hall Kanji ground, it was really a one-sided show, with Barbados winning by 8 wickets after bowling out the Guyana Cricket Board Select 11 for just 29. Now the tournament will continue on Tuesday with matches right here at LBI and also at Lusignan from 9:30. Reporting from LBI, I'm Akim Green.
Now, the Caribbean Premier League, the CPL, will return to Jamaica in 2026, ending absence from its most storied destinations. The move, confirmed on Monday, includes the reintroduction of a Jamaica-based franchise and a 4-match schedule at the iconic Sabina Park. CPL matches have not been staged in Jamaica since 2019, a period during which the island's fans have frequently voiced their frustration at being left off the regional T20 map. The breakthrough follows productive and collaborative discussions between the CPL team and the Jamaica government, specifically the Ministries of Sport and Tourism. The return of a local franchise is arguably the most significant aspect of the tournament. Since the dissolution of the Jamaica Talawas, the two-time champions, Jamaican players have been scattered across other regional teams. The 2026 reboot is expected to provide a new pathway for local talent and restore the island's identity within the league. And for the first time in CPL history, Barbados will host the finals, with the iconic Kensington Oval set to stage the tournament's knockout rounds. Steeped in cricketing history and prestige, Kensington Oval has previously hosted ICC World Cup finals and countless unforgettable international fixtures. Its selection as the venue for the CPL playoffs further reinforces its status as one of the premier cricket grounds in the world and a fitting stage for the biggest matches of the tournament. Ahead of the grand showpiece in September 2026, tourism authorities are laying the groundwork to welcome an influx of visitors to the island for a vibrant festival atmosphere, combining world-class cricket with music, culture, hospitality, and island experiences. The Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc. had a team in Guyana for the CPL Finals in 2025, and according to its Caribbean director, Graham Clark, they were impressed by Guyana's offering in terms of the cultural activities and entertainment that surrounded the cricket. Clark, currently in Guyana for the Energy Conference this week, spoke to Newsroom in Georgetown on Monday, highlighting the positive takeaways from the Guyana experience via the Cricket Carnival.
Oh, the vibe here during September was great. I came down, we had a great time, at the stadium. We set up a booth and we did a promotion there, and it was really exciting just seeing the fans, the colors, the music, the food. You could feel it in the air, and it's really something that we want to emulate as we move to Barbados, to have that kind of energy. Of course, the Amazon Warriors and the Trinbago Knight Riders, the two top teams, and when they meet, it always creates a vibe on its own. So, but we feel like Barbados is going to follow the footsteps of Guyana, and hopefully that we will be able to up the ante as well, and to improve and to make things a lot better.
While in Guyana for the CPL last year, Clark highlighted that the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc. held a competition with 2 Guyanese winning all expense-paid trips to Barbados for the CPL Finals 2026. According to Clark, Guyanese have shown great interest in traveling to the island for the biggest party in sport.
We're traveling around right now across Guyana and Georgetown, meeting with the travel agencies, and many of them are saying that around that time, things are fully booked. So it sounds great to us.
Yeah, the final tickets were released only a couple of days ago actually, and a lot of Guyanese, based on initial numbers, have already booked tickets for that Barbados experience. From a Barbados tourism standpoint, and generally as a country, how big a deal is it for CPL Final to be hosted in your country?
Oh, it is huge. CPL, as I said, is the biggest party in sports. It has a global viewership of over 1 billion right now. And from the last economic impact assessment, it was said that about $25 to $26 million US is being pumped into the economy around these finals. So if that happens, surely that's going to have a great impact on Barbados and on the livelihoods of many individuals who are plying their trade in the taxi area, in entertainment, in food, in culinary, and so many other areas as well. And I can tell you that Barbados is very keen to build out sports as a key component of its economic program.
Describing it as an exciting time, Clark said CPL Finals 2026 provides an excellent platform for Barbados to be showcased to the world via its vibrant music, culture, hospitality, and island experiences.
Kensington Oval and the immediate environs will be transformed. There's Pelican just around Kensington Oval with lots of restaurants, lots of music, lots of activities. The Cricket Legends home is just opposite Kensington Oval. There's Rihanna Drive to the right, our national hero and global icon. And of course, there's the beach, Brandon's Beach, right across the street that people can just take a leisurely walk down, have a swim, and enjoy themselves. So there's going to be lots on offer during September for that iconic event and those finals for CPL.
And the Guyana Energy Conference from February 17th to the 20th at the Marriott Hotel provides just the opportunity for Clark and his team to sell Destination Barbados to a global audience.
Many of the people who are here also come from cricketing countries, Australia, some of them from cricket nations around the world, and would be very keen to participate in a CPL finals or tournament. And we are also promoting Barbados as a short trip away, for getaways, long weekends for those who work here in Guyana to come to Barbados and to really experience the islands.
Reporting for Newsroom, I'm Avinash Ramzan. Meanwhile, the ExxonMobil Guyana Global Super League has confirmed its window for 2026 with the 3rd edition of the cross-border T20 competition scheduled to take place from July 23rd to August 1st. The tournament will return to its established home at the Guyana National Stadium at Providence, featuring 5 franchise teams competing for the winner's purse of $1 million US.
Since its inception, the GSL has looked to carve out a unique niche as an international cricket showdown, inviting high-performing teams from clubs in domestic leagues to compete in a neutral, centralized venue. The 2026 iteration follows a 25 season where the local favourites Guyana Amazon Warriors secured the title in a high-octane final against Bangladesh's Rangpur Riders. Sir Clive Lloyd, the West Indies legend and GSL chairman, noted the tournament's rapid ascent in T20 hierarchy. Open quote, "In just 2 years, the GSL has established itself as a truly global competition," Lloyd said. Open quote, last year's final played before a packed stadium demonstrated a passion for cricket in Guyana and the strength of this tournament. From July 23rd to August 1, we look forward to welcoming 5 outstanding teams to Providence once again. End quote. The GSL is increasingly viewed as a key component of Guyana's sporting destination strategy, bridging the gap between the Caribbean Premier League and international cricket. Further details regarding 2026 fixtures and the full roster of teams are expected to be released in the incoming months. For the newsroom, Akim Green.
Some World Cup news now. Australia's hopes of reaching the Super 8 stage of the T20 World Cup are all but over after Sri Lanka's Pathum Nissanka hit a brilliant unbeaten century to condemn them to an 8-wicket defeat in Pallekele, with wicketkeeper Kusal Mendes providing perfect support with a composed 51 from 38. Nissanka brought up his century in 52 balls to take his side to the target of 182 with an innings that blended brute power and finesse. Australia had a century partnership for the opening wicket between Travis Head and Mitch Marsh, who both made 50s, but the innings stagnated after their dismissal. With Sri Lanka chasing down the target with ease, the Australians are left clinging to their only hope, which is the slimmest mathematical chance, and will watch nervously as Zimbabwe faced Ireland in their group game on Tuesday. And England were given another major fright but held off tournament debutants Italy by 24 runs to secure a place in the Super 8 stage of the World Cup. After England posted 2 for 7, Italy threatened to pull off the greatest shock in World Cup history in pursuit, a result which would have left Harry Brooks' side facing an embarrassing group stage exit. Ben Manenti cracked 60 from 28 balls to take Italy within 89 runs of victory, and after his wicket became the first of 4 in quick succession, 31-year-old Grant Stewart scratched 45 from 25 balls to keep the contest very much alive. Italy needed 30 from the last 12 balls, but Sam Curran had Stewart caught at short third man. With 25 runs needed from the last over and 2 wickets in hand, Jamie Overton wrapped up the innings to leave Italy 178 all out. And Rashid Khan claimed his 700th T20 wicket in unusual circumstances as Afghanistan kept their faint World Cup hopes alive with a 5-wicket victory over the United Arab Emirates, the UAE. The leg spinner achieved the milestone with a mode of dismissal which has not featured in any of his 699 previous victims. That's a hit wicket. Rashid finished with 1 for 24 from his 4 overs, while Azmatullah Omarzai was the pick of the Afghan bowlers with 4 for 15 as the UAE were restricted to 160 for 9 at Arun Jaitley Stadium in Delhi. Shoaib Khan struck 6 4s and 4 6s as he top scored for UAE with 48 from 6 with a 48 ball 68 that should be, while Alishan Sharufu chipped in with 40 of 31. Afghanistan lost Ramanullah Gurbaz for a duck, but fellow opener Ibrahim Zadran's composed 53 of 21 balls made inroads into the target. Mohamed Arfan took 2 for 30 for the UAE to slow Afghanistan's response, but Omarzai was the key man for Afghanistan in the remainder of the chase. The all-rounder followed up his impressive display with the ball as he whacked an unbeaten 40 of 21 with the bat, so Afghanistan got over the line with 4 balls to spare. And with that, we've come to the end of the news for this evening. Of course, you can find updates on these and other stories on our website, newsroom.gy, and all social media platforms. On behalf of the entire news team, I'm Avinash Ramzan. Thanks for watching. Be safe. See you next time.